Studies show that 43% of people who bother to make a New Year's resolution will have it dropped by the end of this month. And those are just the people who told the truth in the survey. So what can you do to keep your big plans for 2024 from becoming a dream deferred? Community psychologist Dr. Bernita Baker says there's never a bad time to get back on track. Hello, doctor. How are you?
I'm wonderful, Micah. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. First of all, why do people make New Year's resolutions?
You know what? The new year is an opportunity for people to think about becoming the person that they've always wanted to be. And so it feels like it's just a great time to hit the reset button and to start afresh. So that's why people make New Year's resolutions.
But why do we have to reset every year? Why not reset once and just keep it going? And if you fall off, get back on the horse.
You know, I'm totally with you, Micah. I don't believe in having to do these things all over every year, right? I think that you just need to be consistent with what it is, the plans that you've already set in place, and just move forward from there. And so I totally believe that we don't have to necessarily continue making New Year's resolutions year after year, especially if we didn't accomplish what we set to accomplish the year before.
Right. I go into the gym, and usually January, February, there it's packed. It's just packed. And then it
hmm
dwindles off,
hmm
dwindles. What are some of the most popular resolutions that people make?
Of course, everybody is looking to get into the gym and to drop
Hmm.
those extra holiday pounds that they grabbed along the way. Of course, everybody wants to work on their business. They want to read more books and all of those kinds of things. And so I think the gym is definitely at the top of the list.
But, doctor, can it be stressful, when January comes, you put so much on yourself to do these resolutions, and then if it peters out, you're so hard on yourself?
It is so much unnecessary pressure, as if we don't already have enough pressure looming on us, right?
Right.
And so I have learned that you just have to show yourself grace. You have to demonstrate grace with yourself and just accept the fact that it might not work out the way that you planned for it to work out. And if it doesn't happen the first week of January, or the second week of January, that's perfectly fine too. We can always hit the reset button and start afresh.
Why are we our worst enemies, beating up on ourselves all the time when we're not like that to other people so much? We're the hand that says, oh, don't worry about it, you'll be okay. But, oh, no, I didn't do it. Mean to me.
You know what? Many people were not taught to celebrate themselves. And so we work hard, we accomplish all of the things, we achieve our goals, and then we don't celebrate ourselves, but we can be the biggest champions for everybody else. And I just think that, again, it's a learned behavior. We're not taught to celebrate ourselves. We have not been taught to celebrate ourselves. So as a result, most people don't. And we continue to stack the chips up against us and to put more things on our plate. And we continue to, have to be doing things rather than celebrating the accomplishments and the achievements that we've already made.
So maybe that's where we hit the reset button to,
hmm
to love ourselves first before
hmm
everyone else. And how do we do that?
I think you have to be intentional about staying focused on yourself. I think when you are looking at society and you're focused on what everybody else is doing and how the stars are aligning for everybody else, it kind of clouds your vision for yourself. So I think you have to just be intentional about focusing on self and being intentional about not trying to compare yourself to what other people are doing, and to just silence all the chaos of the world and really get clear about what it is that you're hoping to achieve for this chapter, for this season, and for this year of your life.
Yeah, social media is one of the big enemies when it comes to that. We see people in the
Oh my
gym working out.
goodness.
This is my New Year's resolution,
hmm
and look how much I've
hmm
lost weight, and this, that, and the other. And we're like beating ourselves up about it because we haven't done it.
hmm It's so much unnecessary applied pressure. It is just totally unnecessary. And again, if we don't take our eyes off of what everybody else is doing, we will continue to fall into the trap of trying to keep up with what everybody else is doing, not knowing what's going on behind the scenes. Social media doesn't show you the ins and out of the lives that people are living. And so it only just depicts the good, if you will.
Right. What about the concept of not having New Year's resolutions and just try to live the right way every single day? And if you fall off, it's okay, and not to be so mean to yourself.
I think it has to become a lifestyle. And until we embrace it as a lifestyle, we will continue to feel like we have to jump on the bandwagon and set these New Year resolutions. And so when you make it a lifestyle, you don't have to reset on December 31st every year, right? Because this is the life that you're living. You're already present with the goals that you are working towards achieving. You're already being, you're already doing. And so the closing of a year and the transition into another year, it doesn't change who you are. It's not a new year and a new you. It doesn't have to be that because 9 times out of 10, you are still the person that you were the year prior and you're just working, you're just continuing on. And so I don't think that it has to be a period at the end of that new year. I think at the end of that year, I think it can just be a comma, a semicolon. I think we just need to add to it.
What type of example are we setting for our kids when we keep doing this over and over again?
I think we are teaching our children to follow the leader. And who's the leader, right? We don't even really know who the leader is. Just we're teaching our children to not really be clear about what it is that they want to do, but to do what everybody else is doing. And so I think that we have to redefine what it is, what it means to us, and understand our why. When you don't understand your why for doing something, you just end up doing it just because
Exactly.
everybody else is doing it. So you really need to get clear about your why. Why am I setting these new year goals? Are they different than the goals that I had on December 30th? Why am I looking to be a better me? Why is what I already accomplished not good enough? So I think we really have to assess the things that we've already done, the pathologies
Right.
that we already have, and the patterns that we've become
Perfect.
accustomed to.
Dr. Bernita Baker, thank you so much. You can find her books and services online at bernitabaker.com.